So we are running currently with Major League Baseball. We have a variety of teams that we're running with. As you can see here, the Orioles, Astros, Nationals, etc., Reds. So we will just simply look at the Orioles, for instance, in a variety of ways. We will look at media optimization. We will look at creative optimization as well as audience optimization, all of which are being powered by AI, whether that is from a predictability perspective or a performance perspective. So we'll start on the media side. So this is our dashboard, specifically around the Baltimore Orioles. A couple things that you can see here that you would expect. You have impression volume, conversions, etc. Now, with the Orioles and Major League Baseball, our KPI, of which the AI was always optimizing towards, was actually a single game ticket purchase. So what you see here are the total conversions that happened within this time period of the campaign. Now, a total conversion is, they click on a page, they click on a button, etc. So that's in totality. And then there's also our attribution modeling, which we were able to showcase with our pixel being on the Baltimore Orioles ticket purchase page. So everything that we were doing for the Orioles is all about driving ticket sales, not views, not clicks. Now, what you're also seeing here is a performance trend. This trend here is a great depiction of how AI differs from a standard DCO approach, where you would have in DCO a decision that gets made, but that decision never changes. And so it would go up and then it would plateau and then it would start to come down. Whereas ours, what you're seeing is some peaks and valleys, but it's always constantly improving. And we're avoiding creative fatigue because the AI is always optimizing and putting the best content in front of every single impression. So we want to see a constant improvement in performance from a media perspective. But then when we're talking about media optimization, we're also able to identify DMAs, time of day, day of week, that are overperforming or underperforming. Now, obviously with the Orioles, our targeting is going to be heavily weighted around Maryland, Washington, D.C., etc. So we would expect to see the impression volume high for those areas and the conversions high. But what we're also able to see is surrounding states such as Pennsylvania and Virginia and North Carolina and New York. Those states are actually having a decent size of a conversion rate perspective. And what we're now able to go back to Baltimore and the MLB is say, not only should you obviously continue with Maryland from a media perspective, but also you should optimize with some additional impression volume in those surrounding regions. What is obvious is that people are willing to travel to Baltimore because it's likely a cheaper ticket purchase than it is in New York or Philadelphia. And so we are able to tap into this knowledge by showcasing where people are actually purchasing tickets from, traveling to games in Baltimore. Then we're also able to identify the times of day of which our impressions are primarily being served, but what times of day are converting best. We can see here that the time of day that most impressions are being served are in basically early morning hours, to the afternoon. But our primary conversion time is late evening. So what we are able to say is, why don't you distribute the impression volume a little bit more in the evening? And then from a day of week perspective, we're seeing a significant volume of impressions happening on Monday, but the best conversion rates are actually Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we could shift some of those impression volumes into Friday, Saturday, Sunday to maximize our conversion performance for the Orioles. And again, this dashboard has a significant amount of data, but one of the most important pieces is our performance gain. So this chart here, the green lines versus the blue line, the green line depicts AI optimization. The blue line depicts our control. Now that control line is the same exact creative that is in the green AI optimization line, but it's essentially AI optimization turned off. So we are always able to showcase to a client or to the Orioles or to Major League Baseball what is the performance gain by using AI optimization versus simply just randomly rotating the creative in your paid media program, which is what a significant amount of customers do. So right now we are showcasing a 64% lift in performance with the Baltimore Orioles using AI optimization. So some of these are just simply the media optimization side of the program. We also have some attribution modeling that we were able to showcase because as a single engine, we are able to provide attribution, measurement, and optimization. And here you can actually see that almost double the conversion rate for ticket purchases is actually happening on a mobile device. So when we think about media optimization, again, lean towards a mobile only or mobile focused media buy. There is still obviously desktop conversions happening, but this shows that there are conversions, a significant amount of conversions, and those almost double that of desktop happening on a mobile device. So that was, in a nutshell, a lot of the media-based optimizations. We will switch over to creative optimizations and how our AI is able to work through that. So in our Creative Optimization Explorer, you're able to see all of the different creative concepts as well as the content and versions that are in market. So here you can see the concept 1, which is a single game ticket purchase. Concept 2, which is a $12 Utah Bleach seat purchase. And then a promotional schedule. Now, you can see that these creatives are very, very different. And unlike DCO, where you have to be very, very much templated, we are saying, let the creative team be creative. Come to us with your creative concepts. Let AI make the decisions within it. Now, what we are looking at here is specifically a 300 by 250 format. And this is specifically for the third-party audiences for the Orioles. So they are prospecting. Interestingly enough, what we are finding out here, this is live data, live campaign, that the creative concept of single game ticket purchases is outperforming what is the promotional concept, which is simply, these are promo items they have on schedule. It's about 40% better from a concept perspective. Now, if we flip over to our first party audience, what we actually have here is, again, same format. But what we're finding out is the first party audience actually is best resonating. The content that is best resonating with them is the promo schedule. So completely different audiences, and we're seeing different results. And the single game ticket purchase is actually the lower performer. And this audience already has an affinity to the team. And so therefore, it is the next level up from a funnel position that we are getting their attention. So rather than focusing on hard-hitting single game ticket purchases, promo schedule is working better for this audience. And that's, again, where from an AI perspective, we are able to actually allow the data to speak for itself and let AI make the decision as to what content is best for that audience based on that probabilistic outcome of success. Within this, you can actually then go one step further, and you can actually identify the orange background or the white background, which is performing better. Or you can even say the type of copy, the promotional schedule versus promotional items, which is working better. And then you can even say the call to action, buy now versus buy tickets, which is working better. But then within the other concepts, you can see that buy tickets as a call to action is working better with this concept than it is with the promotional schedule concept, for instance. And these are the types of things that humans, we just can't keep up with. We cannot constantly be monitoring the creative that's in market and making those adjustments, identifying which impression is best for those pieces of content. AI is able to do that for us. AI is able to make those decisions. So now we've talked about media, we've talked about creative. Now I'm going to switch over to our audience optimization. As part of our identity graph, we as Claritas are able to break down the entire United States into 68 different segments. Those are called prism segments. Each of those segments have a persona that drives, who is within that actual segment. This chart that you see here is a breakdown of live data of the performance of the Orioles in terms of who is over-indexing and under-indexing from a persona perspective. Now, the Orioles didn't even use our audience data, but we are able to connect to our identity graph and back into those performers. If the Orioles and Major League Baseball were to use our data and or they were able to give us some of their first-party data, it would only supercharge what you're about to see. So in this, you can see that the young Digerati audience and the American Dreams, those orange lines are over-indexing personas for the Orioles. Those that are under-indexing are Bedrock America and Struggling Singles. Again, you would expect Bedrock America to under-index with the Orioles. That is a positive sign in terms of conversion rate, who is over-indexing and under-indexing. So what does this mean? You can actually take this a step further, and you can have a conversation with those personas that are over-indexing. So for instance, the young Digerati. And now if you're Major League Baseball, you may want to learn more about those individuals that are over-indexing. So this is live, so I will say, do you have any pets? for instance. And now what we are able to do is have a conversation with those individuals that are reacting well to our media campaign, and we are able to learn more about those individuals and how we might want to further target them in the future. So again, while the AI continues to think, we are able to identify all of these qualitative insights for each of these individual personas. And so what now this individual says, no, I don't have any pets at the moment. Now that's interesting. So we can go back to the Baltimore Orioles and say, you may want to have a slice of your audience that doesn't have any pets as a demographic feature when they are buying those audiences, from a paid media perspective. And so again, this shouldn't be taken as gospel, but the idea here is that we are able to actually learn more about those people that are over-indexing with your ads. And then you can take it even one step further, and you can actually have a virtual focus group with those individuals that are in those top 5 personas and ask them all similar questions, and they all are able to react to them. So for instance, we could say, what type of food do you like? And all of these 5 personas are going to think about this for a little bit. And again, what this is going to be able to get us to do is we can give information back to Major League Baseball. So in the creative, we can maybe feature some of these things. So we have one that is organic. 2 is organic. 1 is about wine. 1 is a balanced diet, and 1 is pretty easygoing. So what we could say to MLB is, why don't we feature some organic foods in your ad creative? Because we can say maybe you have an organic food at the stadium, or maybe there's an area where you can actually buy wine at the stadium. And this is information that we can take back from a content, creative strategy, and a media strategy perspective, leveraging AI. And so what I've shown here in the last 5 minutes is that optimization, attribution, and measurement engine focused around media creative and audiences. Thank you.